All right, it's Thursday, July 18th. I just bought some SPY 563 puts at 560, and they immediately moved down. I exited or scaled out at 660 to set up a no risk trade. You can see they're at 681 right now. This was on a kind of a sharp move lower here as the price came up here this morning, and I'll show you the context in a minute why it is to the downside. It took out the pre-market highs, and then it kind of failed. It came through the midpoint of the first bar. I bought the puts right there on this 15-minute bar. We came all the way down to take out kind of the lows of yesterday and the pre-market lows. The context here, if we look at yesterday, there was a big gap down. We've been talking about how, we're in this broadening kind of area. Up in this area, we're making higher highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower lows. We've made higher highs. Then yesterday there was the gap down that kind of started back through the range. And that's kind of the key context in play here, that yesterday we came back through the midpoint of the prior week. So with 2 days to go, you're kind of anticipating an outside bar to the downside here until proven otherwise. We'll see if we get there either today or tomorrow to the downside. And then today, obviously, you had the little bit of an up gap, but it just took out the pre-market highs. And then it immediately, like I said, came through the midpoint of the first bar. So there was a good opportunity to buy puts there. Yesterday, there was also a good opportunity on the gap down, to look for, below the midpoint of the prior day after that big gap. So then, you could look for that kind of green to red move, taking out the midpoint of the first bar, and it kind of grinded down all day long, setting up, again, the context on the weekly chart that we're likely, getting a 3 bar to the outside, in other words, higher highs and lower lows on the weekly chart since we came past the 50% mark of that green bar. And we'll see if we get there, how things close tomorrow, and what that means for next week. But in terms of today, there was a good put trade here to look for it, and it was taking out that liquidity, the upside, coming back through the first, bar midpoint and then continuing lower now. So good trade on the SPY. We'll see if it gets to that weekly target. That's kind of what you're anticipating. And at that point, we will see if the market wants to kind of hold down there and then start following through lower into next week, or is it going to kind of have some kind of reversal back to the upside if it hits that target? But that would take a little time to form. So good trade on the SPY to the downside. We'll see how much lower it goes today. And again, the target here is still that weekly low from last week.